Good morning, everybody. I wanted to make sure that you guys understand um, the different components that you are going to be working on for your speech. So we're going to start with the introduction part to your informative speech. So follow along and make sure you pace yourself. If you need to pause, pause it. If you realize that, oh my gosh, she's really going to be lecturing us this week, um, play me again or pause it and come back to it later on when you actually have some time. I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible, and please make note that there are many resources available to you online, so you can always go back and look at them again. We will start off by going ahead and logging into Portal. I'm going to make my screen smaller so that you can see everything that I'm doing. And go ahead and go into Blackboard, and you will go into your class. I'm going to change my view so that the view looks the same for you. And click on the LibGuides link. This link will take you straight to the speech LibGuides. Now there are other ways to get there, but this is probably the fastest, easiest route to get to the speech LibGuides page. And go ahead and click on the Informative Speech Module tab. In here you will see all of the components, all of the different samples, all of the various parts and tools that are here for you. So we first want to go ahead and look at the introduction. Now, if you remember from Monday night, you will see that you have sample speech, sample outline, sample PowerPoint, speech outline PowerPoint, speech outline PowerPoint. And that goes for all of them. Now, if you look in this top window, you also have samples for each of the components. Now, right now, all we're going to be talking about is the introduction. So let's go ahead and open up this introduction conclusions component, and this will give us plenty of examples to look at. Your introduction will have 4 key components. Okay, your attention getter, which is the same information that you have used from like your first speech. You still have the same options. You have your rhetorical question, you can have some kind of statistic, you can have some kind of shocking statement. You want something that is going to make your audience want to pay attention and pull in and kind of get excited and want to hear more about your topic. This is one of the few places in this type of speech where you have a little bit of glitter, a little bit of pizzazz that you can add, because this is, this is your research speech, so it is much more kind of robotic, if you will. So add some glitz and glamour and some glitter into that attention getter. Make it good, make us want to hear more. Your second component to your introduction is your speaker credibility. This is, if you will, your resume statement. The speaker credibility is where you are telling your audience why we need to listen to you speak about this particular topic. So if you have selected Pokemon as your topic, why do we need to listen to you? Maybe it's because you play Pokemon, you've played for years. Tell us that. Maybe it's because you've studied and played. Tell us that. Maybe it's because you've studied, played, and researched. Tell us that. Maybe it's because you've studied, played, researched, and you've taught others how to play. Tell us whatever it is that builds your credibility, okay? Build it up. Look at some of the examples. There's tons of examples on the LibGuides page, so you can kind of get an idea of why. You've all selected your topic for a reason. Your speaker credibility is your opportunity to tell us why. The third component is your listener relevance link. Now, this is why your audience needs to listen. Why is this particular topic relevant to them? Why in the world would I need to listen to a topic about Pokemon? I mean, if it's Pokemon Go, think about it. One of the studies that came out, or one of the conversations that started this summer about Pokemon Go was that the one thing that it was really doing for people was that it was making them get out and walk. So maybe it is one step towards a healthy lifestyle. I don't know. Make some kind of connection, because you know not all of us are going to enjoy everything. Not all of us are going to love everything as much as you do, but sell us on it in some way. So make that connection to your audience. And for your thesis preview, there is a template. I will post it. You want to use it. It's like a fill-in-the-blank guide for your thesis. And the key component to your thesis is that you have a listing of your 3 main points. They're clearly item 1, item 2, item 3 are the 3 things that you're going to talk about in your speech. It's that simple. Don't make it harder. It's that simple. Okay, so the attention getter you've done before. Credibility is you just building yourself up for your audience, and your listener relevance link is telling your audience why the topic is important to them. And then the preview is telling them what you're going to tell them about. So it is no more difficult than that. Then that's your introduction. Now, if you go ahead and look at your conclusion, if you notice in this example that I've got pulled up here, your thesis preview and your thesis review are very similar. They both have that listing of the 3 items, 3 main points, item 1, item 2, item 3. So the difference is that in the conclusion, your thesis review is in past tense, because you now have already told us these items. And we talk about the introduction and the conclusion together. I know that you don't say them in that order, but we talk about them together because they parallel really easily. You can easily sit down and write your introduction and then sit down and write your conclusion without really having to do a whole lot of work with your body. You can do the body at a later time once you know your research really well. It's kind of like when we talked about on Monday night. You've got to, when it's just like dating, you've got to know that person really well before you can introduce them to your family. But you can kind of maybe tell your friends about them a little bit, and that's kind of like your introduction and your conclusion. That's kind of telling your friends, yeah, I'm seeing somebody. That's what this is. So your preview, your thesis preview and your thesis review are essentially the same item. You just have your past tense, because at the conclusion you are now wrapping up your speech. You are getting ready to go sit back down in your chair. So you have that parallel between those 2 parts. And then the clincher, if you look at the attention getter here, you'll see that we've got this discussion of this 11-year-old boy being awakened at night. And then if you look at this clincher down here, you've got this discussion of this 11-year-old boy again. So you want to have that kind of reminder of how you started your speech in your clincher. And that is the last thing that you say before you go and sit down. So that's what we're looking for in your introduction and your conclusion. Your introduction has those 4 key components. Your conclusion has those 2 key components. And that is our goal for this Monday night. Okay? That is what you need to be working on for your Halloween week. Okay? Have a good draft when we come back. If you guys have any questions, you need to email me. You need to message me. You need to remind me. You need to carrier pigeon me. You need to do something. Good luck. Have a great week. If you go trick-or-treating, use some reflective tape. Be safe. Take a flashlight. You guys have a great week.